Okay, this is TX4500, and what we're doing with this thing today is we're going to grind the, if you can have a look through in here, I've already gone ahead and done it, but if I can pull this out, I'll show you what's the problem with these particular radios. Swing this radio across this way. Now, if I grab a screwdriver and I point it right in there, get this camera to focus. Alright, there we go, that's the best I'm gonna get that. Now, they got this is a heat sink here for this bottom resistor or capacitor down here. Actually, can't really see what that is down there. Anyway, that's a heat sink. Now there's a component just down in here, okay? Now I'm not going to get into it what that component does or the technical part of that. For this demonstration video, we're not even worried about that at the moment. But up the top of here, this is a die-cast aluminium heat sink, and this plate attaches to here. And we have a look down in there, there's electrical components run up to this plate, disperse the heat and into the die-cast plate where they're mounted here into the chassis. But we're not going to worry about that. What we're going to worry about is today is this part here. If we can just get this camera to focus and make things a whole lot better. There we go. So what you want to do is, if I can zoom in on the camera side, what you want to do is right here is take like a round, what would you call it, some people call them carbon tips, round like little balls with, it's hard to kind of explain it, don't know the technical word to it, but I'll show it to you anyway. So what you want is something like a tool like this. I'm not going to show you the brand of it, because I don't want to advertise specific brands, because they're not advertising me or paying me any way of advertising that brand. So I'm going to show you that, and you're going to know exactly roughly what it is anyway. But they make there's about 2 different brands or 3 different brands of these, I believe. You know, so as long as you buy one of these particular drills with the various speeds on it, you won't have a problem. But what you do is, if you can get that to focus. Now this is the problem with this camera I've got, I can't really get shit to focus on it. See that there? That's the tip you want, that's the tip you're after. I can't remember the exact technical name to it, but it's like a deburrer. So it's got little teeth on the end of it, and that's perfect for boring round holes or doing round objects sort of thing, or even trying to sculpture a dimple or a round hole like I am. This is absolutely perfect. So that's the tip you want. Most Dremel kits come with this tip anyway, but I just can't think of the technical name for it right now. But anyway, you get the drift, you see it. So I'm about to show you. Get this here, place that in there like that. Actually, what we'll do is unscrew this. Just back that out a bit. Now, there's a thread inside here. Now, when you put that in there, you don't want to hit on the inside of the thread. You want to watch where you're going. Keep on the outside of that thread. You do not want to damage the existing threads already there in the die-cast chassis of the aluminium plate. So this is where the guide screw comes in from here. Now what you want to do is take a little bit at a time, die grind that out. If we can turn the camera the other way around, there we go. Die grind all that out, and just make like a little dimple wave in there. And this little stainless steel plate, you might have to grind a little bit out depending the You know, depending what sort of radio you got, because some of these plates are slightly lower, some of them slightly higher, so it's just how they manufactured them. But if you have to, cut a little bit of that plate out, it's not going to hurt the radio. Take a bit of aluminium out of there, take that section out, and then once you've done that, what you do is just keep checking it, because you don't want to take too much metal off. It wouldn't hurt to take a little bit too much of it, but the aim is you want to take little as possible off, and you want the screw to come straight through this tightening screw here. So we'll have a take a look at this. Now the problem with this radios here, they usually get about here. They usually stop there, and when you put this bracket up to here, you got that much. There we go. You got that much slop in the brackets. You can't really get it tight, because the problem is they put this little stainless clip. We back this out. Anyway, that stainless clip roughly sits in like that. So what you want to do is, when you open this radio apart, this stainless clip just easily pops out with your fingernail. If not, if it's a bit stubborn, just use a screwdriver to pry it on both sides to get it out. So yeah, so take that out. Like I said, do a little bit massaging for here. Just relieve that section out a bit, hone that out a bit. Just keep checking it, and once you got that all the way through, if it's a little bit tight, and as a thread, so there we go, there we go. Just try and focus this video and look at the same time what I'm doing. So when you go to tighten that up, and it's a little bit tight, but it's not too tight, as long as it's not extremely tight. If it's too tight, back it out, because you will damage this thread on this screw, this bracket screw which screws into. So if it's a little bit tight, doesn't matter, because it'll make a slight bit of thread in there. Keep in mind it's aluminium, so aluminium is soft metal. So if you back it out and you see a bit of, if you see inside here, let's grab the screwdriver here. If you see inside there, it's made a slight little wave or thread in there, but it's not too tight. Don't worry about grinding any more out. That's fine. All they'll do is just make a little thread, and just make sure it doesn't, like I said, make sure it's not too tight, doesn't fuck that screw up. And once that passes through nice and easy, you won't have a problem. And that's the modification you got to do on these particular radios. If you want the bracket to, when you go tighten up the bracket on the radio, you want it real tight, the mounting bracket. That'll eliminate all that slop. So let's go back here again. This time you can see it's pushing all the way through really nicely. So that's tight now. That's hard up against this rubber here. Right there, that's hard up against this rubber. Yeah, when you install these radios, they do come with this rubber. If you got it in the box, make sure you put this rubber on the face of the radio first. So right on the side of it, insert this rubber, use it like a stick pad. You know, peel the foil off it, the paper foil off it, stick it to the radio. Make sure the holes are all lined up first before you do that. And if you have a look here, if you're not too sure what I mean by holes or lining it up, I'll show you right now. See there, someone's glued, taken the stick, the foil, the paper foil, whatever it is, off the rubber pad. They stuck it to the radio. Make sure you get that line up to the hole, stick that on, put your bracket over the top. If we can, hang on, if we can get this without too much of a muck around, there we go. Usually that sits in like that behind the rubber, and then this part here Problem is I'm doing this all with one hand, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Anyway, you get the drift, and then pull that through like that. Just like that, so on. And you get the drift anyway. Now we can get that bracket nice and tight. Before we couldn't get it tight because we had a problem with this die cast aluminium in the chassis. If we come closer up here, before it used to end about there, right on the corner of that, but now we got thread and it's coming all the way in through here. So we can get this screw, this mounting screw, nice and tight. We can tighten up super tight if you want to. And then now there's no slop in that bracket, the mounting bracket. So that's the problem with these GME radios. That's the modification you got to do to it. Keep that in mind. If you're wondering why it's got slop there, you can never get it tight. Don't force it. Don't try to get it any tighter because you will damage the thread and it'll be an absolute prick to try to get that wing nut out with the thread on the end of it, sort of thing. But yes, but that's the only problem with those, particularly these radios. So you got to do this to all TX4500 radios if you want this to screw in nice and tight. It's not of a challenge. There's no, all you need is just basic tools, and like I said before, that we're going to show you this drill we're using. That's all you need with this. If we can get that to focus. No, we can't. That's all you need, the tip on the end of it like I showed you before, and lightly grind it out, push that through, push the bracket in, happy days, you won't have any problems. All the filings and shavings, try to blow it out with compressed air, or if you haven't got nothing available, like if you haven't got a compressor or anything like that, just try to blow it out with your mouth, or try to blow it out with something to get all those metal filings out of the radio, because you do not want that interrupting these fine components in here, or something bridging out or shorting out. So make sure to thoroughly clean the radio of any shavings or filings. If you do get any in there, have a good look at it. Once the radio is all clear, it looks to be fine, there's no metal shavings or filings, go ahead, put the radio back together. So unscrew this here, put this, I'll show you in a moment. Just gonna unscrew this, take this out. Oh, this is the die cast part of the chassis. So what you do is once you've done that completion of work, put that back on like that. Bang, 4 screws on the top. Phillips screws, nothing real special, and screw that on, and then screw your mounting bracket on, bang, straight in. So that's the video on that. That's the story on that. If you're wondering, you're having problems why you got slop in your mounting bracket, I pointed out to you why. That's it there. So if you can accomplish of doing that modification yourself, you won't have any problems. You won't have any problems at all if you're handy with the tools. Anyway, that's the video. You might learn something out of it, you maybe not. Maybe you already know this. End of the day, I thought I might show you. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.